Bathhouse etiquette. Don't tackle a person into his room when he's just arrived and he hasn't even taken his clothes off. Give him a minute to set up and prepare, because you never know. He might want to put fabric over the lights for ambience. He might want to put a duvet down. He might want to put some nice ambient music in, even though you won't be able to hear it over the loud techno house. Point being, give him a second. Don't just jump on him, because he may not be that ready or interested immediately. And if he is interested, he'll be interested in you 2 minutes later. So just relax. Just chill out. Just take a walk and come back in a few minutes. You'll find him. Trust me. Bathhouse is not that huge.
Why do bird people have to be so weird? Every single person I know that has a bird as a pet is just strange. I don't get it. They're always walking around with this bird attached to their shoulder and shit dripping down their back. It's a bird. I don't know why you have it as a pet. Makes no sense to me. And they always seem to just be so, I don't know what it is. Just bird people are.
So I've been listening to a lot of people talking about how younger kids don't understand what it's like to have sex with condoms and blah blah blah, and I think is a good thing. But it reminded me of my first porn I ever filmed, which was in 1992. It was called Friend for Friend, and it is awful. Like, thank God it is unavailable and no one can find it, because it is just so bad. Anyway, point being, they were actually talking about requiring tops to use 2 condoms at a time instead of 1, just to be safe. This was a bit much. Anyway, the person that was my top for the scene did not get along with me, and I did not get along with him. It took us 5 days to film a 20-minute long scene because he could not get hard. They tried everything and nothing would work. We ended up needing a stunt dick. Who uses that anymore? So I'm on Facebook, and every now and then I get those people you may know lists. And there's one in particular that keeps on popping up recently. And like, if you were just to like glance at him, you'd be like, ooh, stacked meathead, just hot and covered with tattoos. But then you look at the tattoos a little bit closer, and he's got not 1 but 2 SS tattoos on his neck and white power tattooed across his chest. 27 friends of mine are mutual friends with him. Why? I mean, it was just because he's pretty to look at, that's fine, but no, bad idea. I'm not sure if I'm being a crank or an old man or just out of touch, but songwriters who insist on using words repeatedly like fuck and bitch, it just screams lazy. Like, really lazy. You can't find other words? There's an entire thing called a dictionary full of words. I bet you could find one. And what's up with the new word? Yeah, apparently that's part of the new lexicon of lyrics. You say something, and when you get close to the end of the sentence, you say as if that like fills up, a syllable. Real impressive. Yeah, so, if you can't actually write a lyric, how about you stop? Just that mustache is all fucked up, and I'm tired of fucking around with it. I mean, this one's doing the right thing. This one's sticking out as if it's like fucking Predator and gonna like. I'm not cutting it off. I really need to figure out the best way to make it like not do that. I suppose I could heat it up with a hairdryer and try to reset it, but every time I fuck with it, more of the wax comes out, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. Anyway, penis. Can somebody explain to me blue flavor? Because I don't know what blue flavor is. It's blue. I can't think of anything in nature that's blue and edible. Blueberries aren't really even blue. And some people say blue is blue raspberry. I don't know of any raspberry that's blue. So why? Why is there blue? And why not just call it blue cherry or blue banana or blue pineapple or anybody got any hints and info about that? Because I'm fresh out of ideas. It makes no sense to me. So, pass me some of that blue flavored Kool-Aid. Cheers. I forgot to mention, today my first client's name is Annie Sprinkle. I'm sure it's not the Annie Sprinkle, but it is an Annie Sprinkle. But could you imagine if it actually was the original Annie Sprinkle? That would be kind of cool. Just as long as she doesn't piss all over everything, I'm fine. We shall find out in about half an hour. Just one.
I don't know about you, but when I'm getting a blowjob and I'm about to come, and the guy suddenly takes my dick out of his mouth and starts flicking his tongue across the head or running his lips up and down the shaft, I'm going to be really bummed out, because that is not how a blowjob is supposed to end. What the fuck? If you're going to put it in your mouth and you're going to start sucking on it, you better be committed to finishing it. What I'm seeing you do is basically tell me, I kind of like it, but I don't want it in my mouth anymore, and I don't like cum. If you don't like cum, don't start sucking it in the first place. Come on, guys, it's not that hard. Just stop if you don't like it, or just don't do it if you don't like it. I'm not going to freak out if you'd say, I'm not really into sucking dick. I'd be like, okay, there's a million other things we can do, but to start it and end it like that.
Okay, I have two questions. First of all, when your sharps container gets filled completely, what are you supposed to do with it? I have no idea. Do you throw it away? Because I thought the whole purpose of the sharps container is to not throw razor blades and needles into the trash. So I'm kind of concerned. Is there someplace I'm supposed to take it? Wisdom? Anyone? Second question, and this is kind of a strange one, but I'm curious. How the hell did this end up in my bag like this? I don't use these. I have no idea how it got in there. It's a mystery. Is it a prank? I don't know. So, I don't know what I was thinking yesterday. That video I sent, the really dark one, yeah, I really shouldn't have sent that. I mean, you can't even hear what I'm saying. It's completely ridiculous. But it fits what I'd said I was going to do about a year and a half ago. So, I might do it again. But anyway, what it was saying is, hey everybody, don't forget I'm going to be at the barber shop from noon to 5, or 10 to 5. Wow, that was fucked up. Let me say that again. Hey everyone, I'll be at the barber shop from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. So if you want to swing by and say hey, please do. I actually have a pretty decent amount of people coming in for booking today, so that's good. Anyway, see you around. Bring chocolate. The problem with people who are not around during the 80s is that when they decide they want to listen to 80s music, they have no idea what to pick, so they're always playing the worst possible shit that came out in the 80s. Really, just really. I don't need to hear George Harrison's I Got My Mind Set on You ever again, or Lionel Richie's Dancing in the Sheets. No, just stop. Just don't. Find something else to listen to. Past couple nights at the Eagle, I've had a 21-year-old boy, freshly 21-year-old boy, hanging out from Milwaukee in town for a sporting event, whatever.
I forgot what it was like to be 21 and utterly fearless. Watching him hit on every single male older than him, which was basically every single male in the bar, was kind of adorable. He just bounced all over the place. He also had muscle envy or muscle worship, so he wanted to touch everyone's pecs and biceps and wanted everybody to touch his, which was kind of strange, but okay, that's fine. He comes up to me and he's like, can I touch your pecs? I'm like, sure, go ahead. So he does, and I'm like, okay, now you can punch them. He's like, what? I was like, hit them. Punch them. So he kind of lightly tapped him. I'm like, no. Punch them. Put some muscle behind it. This went on for a few seconds where I had to keep on telling him it was okay. So pretty and so dense. So that whole thing I just posted about the kids and my appropriate attire got me really started thinking about my attire. Not so much about what I'm wearing at work, but just walking around. Occasionally I'll see people kind of look at me and I'm not sure if it's horror or what, but it's clear they're not comfortable, I think, with the fact that they're looking at an older man's tits hanging out with rings in them. Have I crossed that line yet? Have I gotten too old to be able to pull that off? Is there an age ever to be able to pull that off? I don't know. Anyway, so do I keep the outfits that I wear, or do I change and start wearing normal older people, old men clothes?
Could you imagine how messy it would be if it was really actually raining men? Just, there'd be bodies splashed all over the place, all smooth. It'd be so gross. I mean, honestly, that'd be really gross. So I'm glad it's not raining men. I don't ever want it to actually be raining men. Or women, or anyone. Children maybe, but ugh. Well, today I went ahead and applied at 3 different porn studios, so we'll see what happens. I'm guessing probably nothing, because nothing ever really does happen with me. Most frustrating. Anyway, what can it hurt? Apart from my ego and my self-esteem and my self-worth and my body dysmorphia, yeah, it should be fine. It shouldn't hurt anything. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Good times. Anyway, happy Friday. Wish me luck. Cheers.
I'd say this is probably going to be my last video about Christmas, but I'd be lying. So there are 2 things, only 2 things I like about this holiday. Thing number 1 are the lights. I'm a sucker for lights. I love colorful lights. Always love colorful lights. You can just put a big blob of them somewhere and I'll be happy. It doesn't need to have a holiday attached to it, but Christmas seems to be the holiday, so whatever, what the fuck. And at least I get to enjoy the pretty lights. Thing number 2 is the music. Any music written prior to World War II, preferably. Let's just say actually any music written prior to, say the 18th century. Good shit, dark and sad, perfect for this time of year. Atlantis Gay Cruises. Most of me has 0 interest in going and finds the entire idea to be somewhat repellent. The people, the concept, basically one giant bathhouse in the ocean, a petri dish of STDs. Now, don't get me wrong, I like bathhouses, but still, if you can't get away from it, that sounds pretty terrifying and annoying. But there's secretly a part of me that says, go do it. And that's the part of me that I'm really starting to think about. I should. Why not? I talk shit about it. I might as well see if my preconceived notions are accurate or if I'm just being a crank. thoughts, opinions, anyone?
This is the best experience I've ever had in an airport. There's literally no one in here. I didn't even have a line to go through TSA. It was awesome. Now I just got to get to the airplane and get on in time and not, fall asleep or go unconscious beforehand. Anyway, of course, the one frustrating thing is that my gate is the very last gate. So I'm walking all the way down the airport. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. It's almost just a little embarrassing when you're at your doctor and informing them that you've been exposed to STIs, and they say, okay, which ones? And you just respond, yes. They don't understand that. That kind of baffles them. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but at the same time, it was worth getting exposed to everyone. But anyway, so off I go to go do that and get more blood drawn and hopefully get some medication to make whatever little things I'm carrying around in this petri dish of a body will go away. Good times. It's great being a sexual being. Fun.